Welcome. You are here with Dr. Nilda Perez with Business Foresight, creating strategies towards your extraordinary future. Hello and bienvenidos back to Dr. Nilda Foresight Radio, Business Foresight Radio. So I'm back here to bring you yet another training, and I have a wonderful guest here today, which I'm really excited about. You have no idea. I had to pull a lot of strings to get her here, but we did it. We did it. So I'm passionate about, partnering with you guys and developing your businesses. And here we are on Juan 95.7 y la Super Latina. So aquí de vuelta para tener otro entrenamiento, y tenemos una persona muy especial, la doctora Gonzalez, Isaura Gonzalez, love the name. Okay, so as I told you last week, we're here featuring, this month is featuring a lot of different areas of healthcare. Dr. Isaura is a psychologist, but she is so much more than that. And so today we're very excited to have Dr. Isaura here. We're looking at we have different guests in healthcare, and we're bringing in different areas of healthcare, and to see the business of healthcare, because healthcare, and I have to tell you, the one thing with healthcare and psychology is that oftentimes people think that it's that's one of those give professions, and it's true, but there's a business strategy, there's a business to it, and those that don't get it really are not capitalizing on the gift that they have, and you know that to be true. So I want to reiterate again that it's very important that you pay attention and you listen to whether or not you have a business. If you're even thinking of having a business, these trainings and this information is very important to you. I want to reiterate again about the contest. The contest is over next week. We're pulling the name on the 24th. Did you apply, Katie?
I may or may not have signed up.
Oh,
so
okay, all right.
Pick me.
Okay, yes. Oh, what if you're not in it? What is it? You need to be in it to win it. So that's how that's going to go. At any rate, so I want to reiterate that it's really important that you do this. This is, I have to tell you, this is really priceless. You participate, what you're going to get is a session with me personally. Personally with me, I'm going to analyze your business. We're going to look at strategies that you can have, that you can implement in your business to make 2017 rock, out of this world. You can do that, and that's what we do. I'm going to be doing that. I also have my marketing director. She's going to be looking at your marketing, and she's also going to give you a strategy for 2017. This is, to me, the best time to do this, because you can do this in the middle of the year, and it's going to be not that you can't see, but it's when you start something in the beginning of the year, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about this, about implementation of strategies and mind mapping, and having really very direct information that you start from the very beginning of the year, analyzing what did your year look like last year, what are your new goals for this year, measurable goals, a whole bit. And I know that sounds tedious, but the reality is that when you do this, that's when you really see the areas that you're stuck in. And I'm going to be talking about that more in the next coming weeks. So I'm encouraging you to go right now, right this minute, to Dr. Nilda Perez, drnildaperez.com /contest. Again, drnildaperez.com /contest. The other thing is, so now we're going to go into the training, and you have to go into, Katie loves this part.
My favorite part.
All right, so you go into drnildaperez.com /worksheet. Okay.
I even get fun little email reminders now. It's like, oh, the Nilda show's coming up. Get ready for your worksheet.
Okay, so, and every week she downloads her little worksheet, which is awesome. Okay, so what we're going to be talking today is why it's important to position your business for the future. And here, I understand that the future is tomorrow, next week, next month, but we really have to, businesses have really changed in the last 5 years. In the last years, it really has changed the way that we do business. It's not the same anymore. And what's happening is that people are not realizing it, and because they keep doing the same thing, they're realizing that their business is not yielding the revenue that it used to. Mm-hmm. And it's because running business is totally different. I remember when my dad ran a business, everything was in a notebook. Like even his his QuickBooks was my mom on one of those spiral notebooks, and that's how they used to keep. And there was they didn't know what sold the most in the store. They didn't. So, and you know what? They did well. They did very well. But that is no longer a reality. Not just in the finances, but how you run your business is very important. And I want to say this now in Spanish. Las empresas que no tienen plan de prevención estratégica, hoy en día no van a superar y no van a tener la longevidad que tenían anteriormente. Hasta 10 años, hasta 5 años atrás. Esto ha cambiado una cosa tremenda. Y hoy en día se tiene que tener, pero estrategia bien específica para el desarrollo del negocio. Entonces, last week I compared business to health, to physical health. Because it really is like that. The way that we take care of our physical health, and we know that we have to eat right and we have to exercise, and that's very important. But we have to implement those same strategies to our business, because here's the thing: they're a business that may have longevity, just like some of us can live long. But if we don't take care of ourselves, we can live long and unhealthy. That's what I've seen. As a therapist, because I am also a therapist. That was my background is therapy, and then later I went for my doctorate in business. So, we have so many parallels. We're going to talk all about this. But from that, I remember that I used to do home visits, and there were people that were in their 50s, and they looked like they were in their 60s and their 70s because they did not take care of themselves. And so they started out. I remember they would start out with a very small box of medication, and within a year that had like doubled or tripled. They were taking like 26 pills a day. So here they are. They had long life. Like they didn't die. But what is the alternative? Is that's no quality of life. They couldn't even travel because they were like, we have to take all of this medication, and it's just so much work. So it really does stop your life. Well, it's the same thing with business. You can be in business, but if you're not growing, if you don't have a healthy business, what is the point? You're there and you have the ability of having a business, which is great, but you're not really capitalizing on what you have. And so that's a real shame. That's a real shame, and that's where I come in, and that's where I want to help businesses. And again, it is any type of organization, and you can apply a lot of things that I'm saying to your profession also. So it's so interchangeable that we don't realize how interchangeable business is, whether you're running your own business or running somebody else's business. All of these strategies are really key. So los negocios es como el cuerpo humano, es un organismo vivo. Y ese organismo vivo tiene que estar en perfecta salud para poder correr a nivel que sea la longevidad, pero no solamente la longevidad saludable. Es muy importante. Los negocios son como un cuerpo, un organismo vivo. Y si uno no lo trata de esa manera, lo que pasa es que uno tiene un negocio y no en sí, uno está sacrificando y uno es un prisionero a su negocio. So these are the things that I want to bring home. So I want you to continuously be alert. Putting out small fires in your business is not a good way, because you're not enjoying what you have. And business is really, it's enjoyable. I have to tell you, I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. Every day I get up and I love what I do. It's so ingrained in me that I find myself in the post office or, talking to, I go to a party and before you know it, I'm talking about this. Why? Because it's a passion for me. I love it. And I'm not boring anybody, which is the best part. People actually want to hear this. They want to know. And I'm able to exchange. I'm able to give that because it's so ingrained in me. It's such a part of who I am and what I do. Now, if I was trying to sell a product that wasn't selling well, that I've been doing this for 30 years, and I was frustrated with my business, would I want to talk about it? I don't think so. It wouldn't be, it doesn't have the same it doesn't have the same, because there's no passion there. It doesn't have the same, go ahead.
I was going to say zeal.
There we go. Yeah, if you don't, it's a burden. And so when you're away from it, you want to be away from it, pretty much like we are oftentimes in our jobs. We don't want to be there, so we're like, whatever. So I want you to, to realize, to be alert. Puede tener, que esté alerta y de no, que uno tiene que estar pendiente, que disfrutar de su negocio es posible. Cuando uno tiene las estrategias que le benefician a usted y que le benefician al negocio y que ese negocio esté en posición para desarrollar. So there are several things that you need to know in order to be able to have that, okay? So one of those things is you need to be alert to trends. So for you to move forward in your business, you need to be alert to, okay, so what are the trends that are going? Not just in your industry, because it's very important that you understand your industry and what's changing in your industry. I have to tell you, I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to work with a business and they're not even aware. I'll go and I do the research before I sit with them, and I do the research and I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. There are so many changes in your industry, and they're like, really? Hey, they don't even do that, because they're so consumed in their business that they're not paying attention to the things that there are opportunities that they're not seizing because they didn't even know. So you want to be alert and you want to be on point to what your industry trends are. And to take that the next step is you want to also understand what are the trends outside of your industry that are impacting you. One of the things that I train on is, and one of the quintessentials that I bring out is the Yellow Pages. The Yellow Pages really monopolized, and I'm not sure if I've said this before, but they monopolized every industry, because if you were a business, you were going to market, you were going to put your ad on the Yellow Pages. Well, Yellow Pages did not see it coming. This is so important. When they did not see the
internet,
not just the internet, because it was the internet, but it's help me out here.
Digital?
No. I know this.
What does it start with?
It starts with. Okay, so no, they didn't see the internet and the World Wide Web and which is the address, right? Then you can just Google. They didn't see the power of Google because it started out with Yahoo. They didn't see the power of that, so they weren't paying attention. Had they paid attention, they wouldn't be who they are today, which is pretty much almost nothing. So it's anybody, I don't know about you guys, but I get when I get the Yellow Pages, I just throw it away because I never look in there. There's nothing to look for. So it doesn't have the power that it used to have. However, I think they still have a few clients, not very many, but they still do. So being able to position yourself in that way, where you understand what are the trends that are going on outside of your business, is very, very important, because this is when you can add things. One of the things that I've talked to Isaura is a psychologist, but she has seen where other areas that she can also implement into that, and how she's grown her business and all of the awesome things that she has done. These are the things that are really, they're very important, and those are the things that that's where I spend a lot of time teaching and showing people in their specific industry, in their specific job, in their specific line of work, what are the things that they have that are changing, and what are the things that are outside of that industry that they can capitalize, or that can be a threat, because that threat can really put you out of business. So we're going to stop here, and we're going to go to a short commercial. In that time, I want you to go to drnildaperez.com/contest.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
Here you go. It's warm in here.
No, it's okay.
No?
No, okay.
I think I'm warm.
I think we're just used to it being like negative 50 degrees in here.
Oh,
so.
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We come in here sometimes and we're like, whoa.
They knew I was coming.
Okay.
Because if not, I'd be sitting here like shivering. They knew I was coming. So on your worksheet, do you have all those nuggets?
All of that stuff is there. We have the questions, and the idea is they're telling me that you cannot be seen, so we're going to, oh dear, put you here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh, no. There we go.
That's an awesome tripod.
Isn't it?
That is a very good tripod.
Okay. There we go. So,
just so you guys know, this is
not working well?
not working well.
No?
You have to move the thing in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
Move it.
I've been standing on it just to
okay.
to keep it
Okay.
functioning. But I just wanted to tell you guys.
Okay.
So I'm ready whenever you want. Alright, you ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Maybe why I'm warm.
And we're on.
And we're back. So you're back here at Dr. Nilda Perez Radio. And this is a 195.7 y la Super Latina. Okay, if you have any questions, I want you to call 845-485-1390. Again, 845-485-1390. Any questions or comments throughout the show, feel free to call us. So, we're back. So the one thing that that I want you guys to realize is that it's really important, right? So we went through that. So the next thing is the best way to prepare for the future is by keeping a list of trends. You do that. You want to know who are the thought leaders in your industry. What are the things that thought leaders are talking about? Because there's always a buzz. One of the things that and I know I say this a lot here, but it's really important that you read. You have to spend a lot of time. I say at least an hour a day I spend reading, researching and reading things, because this is how we learn, this is how we evolve. And when we're in business, the difference between being in business for yourself and working for a company, companies usually have professional development, and that's great because they go, they're developing their staff, and that's awesome. But when you work for yourself, you don't have that opportunity, which means you need to do it for yourself. So reading on, different areas, that are going to impact your business, you need to know who are the thought leaders, what are the things that are changing, what are the things that they're doing, how can I be better at what I'm doing, and the best way to do it is by knowing what's going on. You want to also political. What are the politicals? What are the things that are changing politically? I know right now that was a really big thing because small businesses right now are in that kind of a little nervous. Like, okay, so what's going to go on now? Because it's a new. Not only is it a new. Not only is there a new president, but there's a lot of changes that this president is bringing, and he doesn't have the political know-how that other presidents have had. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? We need, that we need to understand, we need to really be alert, we need to pay attention, we need to read, we need to hear what he's saying because it's important, because it's going to affect us as business people, and the ones that are going to be affected most are the small business. So we need to be aware of that. What is going on there? And what are these influencers and these people and the political arena? What are they saying that can change, that has the potential of changing our industry? We need to know that. We always need to know what is going on, and we also want to know what our clients want. What are the clients saying, and what are the clients asking for? Because you know what, our clients do talk to us. I know as a professional, I have like 2 different businesses. I've not been able to not do therapy because I'm like the only one in Orange County that can have a session all in Spanish, monolingual. I am bilingual, but I can have a whole session in Spanish. So as a result of that, there's a need there, and clients are telling me, you know what, I've been looking for a therapist for 3 months, for 4 months, and I went to a few people and they said they were bilingual, but we could not really have a conversation. They couldn't engage with me. So that's been a huge plus. The other thing that I do is that I am a Christian therapist, which again is not something that's very common. So those are the things that have placed me in a place all my own, and I have clients that are seeking me out specifically for that. So I'm hearing what their needs are. Now that has helped me because I really listen to their needs. And that's key. That's super key. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. doing surveys and speaking to your clients, because if you ask them questions, they will tell you. And oftentimes you don't, sometimes they'll tell you without you asking, but the truth be told, when you ask them, they feel that you're really engaged, that you care about them. So it's really important that you do that. So those are questions that you want to have. So I'm going to repeat these in Spanish. Para preparar su negocio para el futuro, las cosas, hay 5 puntos que son muy importantes. Quiere saber quiénes son los líderes de pensamiento en su industria. Segundo, quiere saber qué están hablando esos líderes, qué son su pensamiento y qué es lo que ellos están hablando, que le puede impactar a su negocio. También ¿qué dicen ellos de potencial de influencia en su negocio, en su industria? ¿Qué es lo que ellos están diciendo? Y otra cosa es que estar pendiente y al tanto de qué le dicen sus clientes. Sus clientes sí le hablan, sí le dicen mucho de lo que ellos quieren, si uno presta atención. Y muchas veces el empresario y el negociante no le está prestando atención a lo que los clientes le están diciendo. When you answer these questions, you're going to realize that you get a much clearer perspective of what you want and the direction that you're going. So, and until you're not 100% certain of these answers, you're going to have a difficult time in your business. You're going to have a difficult time growing your business, because you really are operating in the dark. The truth be told, is like operating with, having no sight, and that insight is really important to business growth. One of the things that I like to do research, and one of the things that I looked at was Geoscape. Geoscape US has awesome information on Latino business. And the statistics state that Hispanic businesses and entrepreneurship are actually driving growth in the United States, which is awesome. So where does that put us? That places us in a really good place. By the same token, they state that between 2012 and 2015, business ownership has grown to 3.32 million. That was in 2012. Today is 40.7 million. And these numbers keep growing. But are we generating the income, and are we positioned? That's the thing. Are Latino businesses positioned to where in the areas that they should be? That's not right now. That's pretty. When you do the research, we're not making the kind of money that other non-Hispanic businesses are making. And that's because there's oftentimes we don't understand the importance of having all of these other things in place, and we don't have that. That's where the problem comes in. So Latinos are making huge strides, and that's great, and we're becoming influencers, and that's wonderful. But we also want to be able to put ourselves in a position where we are generating the income, and it's these small changes that are going to make the difference. So I have Dr. Isaura here. Dr. Isaura has developed some programs to help Latinas. You mainly work with women, right?
It's interesting because I get that question all the time. Not just do I just work with women, but do I, consider working with someone outside of being Latina? Right. And I always say yes, because the goal here is to really empower women and to empower Latinos in general in order to break that gap that we're missing.
Okay. And see, that's very important. And that's one of the areas where I'm kind of running into that same problem, because I have the Latino Academy for Business. And it was funny because on my way here, I was having a dialogue with my marketer, and she was saying, this is really, there are so many people that are reaching out to me that are non-Hispanic, and they're saying, but why just for Hispanics? And I'm like, no, it's not just Hispanics. But, what I do is I can do with anyone, but because I'm bilingual, is that I've kind of gone, I've kind of pigeonholed it that way. So it's really important, and that's really something that we want to talk a little bit more about. So I want to give you her bio, because Isaura is really a very interesting woman. So Isaura is the CEO and the founder of Latina Mastermind. Latina Mastermind is an organization that is dedicated to empowering Latinas, women, men, people, in creating their financial legacies through powerful networks and strong collaborations. So Dr. Gonzalez has created the first and only app for people, she has Latinas here, but I'm going to say 4 people that would allow us to do business, that allows business owners to connect globally. So it's not just in the United States, which is fascinating because that's the other part, that, you know, businesses could go global. And even if you're a brick and mortar, you don't have to just be in that neighborhood, and people don't realize that. So so she's been doing this for a while, but she also starting a podcast in next week. Next week, because she doesn't have enough to do. So December 19th, she's starting her podcast, which is fascinating, and I look forward to being able to go there and be able to speak there. So she's an educator. She's an international speaker. She's a business coach and mentor, and she focuses on the growth of the Latino population. She also has her practice, and she's been named by OpenCare.com in 2016 as the top psychologist practice in Staten Island, which is fascinating. She's a licensed psychologist. She holds a bachelor's of arts in psychology, a master's, and Psy.D. in her doctorate in clinical psychology. So you do a lot. So I'm thrilled to have you here. I'm really so excited. So I want to just dive into your interview. So I want to know you're a practicing psychologist that has changed your influence to be able to do so much more. What made you do that? Because we know most psychologists just have a practice.
Correct.
Okay.
If they have one.
If they have one.
If
right.
they have one.
Right.
But first I want to thank you for having me here and being able to share and give value to your audience and spend some time with you. So it's always great talking to you. You know, it's easy for me because what I've also taught, I think you said that, I've taught for about probably 22 years. And what I teach my students is something that I live by, which is diversification. And I believe anyone who is in business also needs to live that way. When you have only one stream of income, it becomes difficult because what happens if there's a problem with that one stream of income? If there's a problem with that one stream of income, that's where we find shortages. And so in business, one of the very important things that we have to look at are assets. And so diversifying your skills, diversifying your products, diversifying, and I think these were all things that you were talking about. Right. You know, and as you were talking, you know, I wish I would have had a pen and pencil to
download that worksheet.
Right, I didn't have the worksheet in front of me. So that I could have, you know, addressed some of the points and gone back, like you're talking about the future, right. You know, the future is tomorrow, and I would just add that the future is actually right now, this minute, today. Right. So every actionable step that they take today, this right. minute, like downloading that worksheet is right. really the future. Right. Because tomorrow is based on every step that we've taken today.
Exactly.
And so when you diversify yourself, you're able to have multiple streams of income. Exactly. And you're able to take your skill set, not just your degree or what you're passionate about, but you're able to take the sets, the tools, the techniques, and spread them across different avenues, and that's what creates your products. That's what creates your intellectual property. That's what creates assets that you can build on and grow from.
Exactly. And the thing is that not only that, it's taking that a step further. The value that you give your clients, you know, to me is priceless. Because for me, every time I do if I'm doing a session, a consulting or coaching session, I'm very in tune to their emotional needs. And so, you know, when you have your own business, it's your baby. And it's emotional. And sometimes making those changes is hard. Not because you don't want to make the changes, but it's an emotional. I have to go kind of back. And having that has really helped me to be able to help them. The more you offer them, the better you are for them. You're giving your clients so much value. And that's key. So it's having multiple streams of income and being able to help your clients in multiple ways, you know, and it being so interchangeable. Okay, so we're going to do this in Spanish because because Isaura speaks Spanish. Eres una psicóloga que tienes, influyó ¿qué te influyó para hacer esto? What made you, change? From just being, not change, but from just being a psychologist, what made you think that there were other ways and other avenues and otras maneras que puedes ayudar I go back to English, que puedes ayudar tus clientes? I'm sorry about that. It's a whole,
It's a mind trick.
it's a mind trick, yeah. Okay.
A veces cuando estamos acostumbrados en hablar o platicar en inglés, el contenido es difícil cambiar al español. Pero lo que estaba diciendo en inglés es lo mismo. Cuando uno diversifica sus talentos, uno puede entonces hacer productos. Y al poder diversificar los talentos que uno tiene, uno puede entonces hacer diferentes, como se le dicen, entradas de dinero por poder hacer eso.
Sí.
Entonces lo que sucede es para mí es muy natural. Yo he sido profesora en la universidad hace 22 años. Entonces, como soy profesora, es lo que yo le enseño a mis estudiantes.
Exacto.
No se pongan y digan, bueno, tengo este título, este bachillerato, esta maestría en cierta cosa y ahí se va a acabar la carrera. No, ahí es donde empieza la carrera.
Exacto.
Y lo que ellos no se dan cuenta es que todo lo que le están enseñando en todas las clases no es simple para poder tomar el examen, pero sino para poder lograr su vida y poder desarrollar y darle información a lo que van a hacer entonces los clientes de ellos,
Exacto.
sea en negocios, sean pacientes, sea lo que sea. Y es muy importante que ellos empiecen y la audiencia tuya empiece a darse cuenta que si uno nada más está enfocado en un nivel de ingreso por su negocio, ahí es donde están los problemas. Cuando
Exacto.
uno nada más tiene un nivel de ingreso, ahí es donde fallamos.
Exacto.
Tenemos que tener varios niveles y esos varios niveles se crean por todo el contenido que hemos creado en nuestra inteligencia.
Exacto.
Lo que tenemos en nuestra mente.
Exacto. Bueno, y eso fue más o menos lo que me pasó a mí. Yo comencé mi carrera como terapista. Entonces, también yo era coach. Y de momento me empezaron como en el 2008, ahí fue cuando la economía cambió. Y ahí de momento empecé a desarrollar un cliente nuevo. Clientes que eran CPAs, contadores, tenían profesión, pero
Negociante.
pero no eran negociantes, trabajaban para una compañía.
Yeah.
De momento los dejaron ir, porque ahí fue que cuando la economía cambió, los dejaron ir. Y como tenían como esos 50 y pico de años, no podían conseguir otro trabajo. Entonces vinieron donde mí, yo no sé qué hacer. Y yo les digo que de momento empezaron muchos a venir. Yo dije, bueno, yo sé de terapia, pero yo en sí no sé de negocios. Pero empecé a buscar y ahí fue donde me dio la idea de no solamente estudiar y leer para ayudarlos, pero que además de eso, seguir mi carrera y para mi doctorado en empresas y negocios globales. So that made a big difference. When I have the clients that were coming in, that I realized, you know what, they're coming in because they're at a crossroads. They're in their 50s and they're losing their jobs and they can't get another job, but they have a profession. They're intelligent people. So how can I help these people? Well, the only thing that they can do at that point is start their own business. So I realized that I was not equipped. So you see, that's why I'm saying when you listen to your clients tell you their needs, and if you don't have that, you attain that information to be able to help them.
Well, it's part of service, and not just because we're in the healthcare field, right, that we serve. Any business really serves, if you think about it, because we're serving the needs of individuals. So either you solve a problem or you serve a need. and those are the most successful businesses if you look at it. And for me personally, you asked a general question, and I think I gave you a general answer. So I'm just going to kind of dive it in a little bit.
Absolutely.
And give you my personal reason for why I went from, I think you called it last night when we chatted, I went from therapist to mastermind, right? And so for me, it was, I love the work that I do. I love teaching. Teaching is a bigger platform when I go one-to-many, groups, one-to-many, coaching, one-to-many, speaking internationally, one-to-many. But I knew that I could leverage the amount of knowledge that I have gained, not only in creating a successful business, an award-winning business at this point, but also all just the experiences that I've had dealing with individuals and guiding them through all of their difficulties, whether it was in life, in business, or in money. And I realized that really my calling, when my uncle was passing away about 2.5 years ago, that my calling was really to leverage all of that experience and to do one, not to thousands, one to millions. And in order to do that, I had to let go of some things, including fear, including being very quiet. A lot of people, who've heard me speak said, I didn't know you could speak that way because I'm so quiet. That sometimes, you'll ask me a question and I'll just keep going on with
because it's passion. It's passion, and that's the thing. When you're asked a question about something that you know well or something that you're passionate about, you really do. I've seen it with Katie. Like, I'll ask Katie something about what she does, because she works her youth group in her church, and you ask her a question about that, and she will just light up, and she'll talk to you because that's her passion. And when we have a passion, it comes through in everything we do and everything we say. So that's very true.
Well, thank you.
No, but what the thing is the beauty of that is that you don't. It's who you are, though, Katie, and it's who Dr. Isaura is. It's who, when we have that passion. That's what I was saying earlier. I can go to a party and I don't know how the conversation could turn into this, and I exude it. I guess it's something that I have such a it's like a burden that I have that I'm like, okay, you want to know, here you go.
But how do your clients then, right? And I think that this is maybe a good question. I don't know if maybe this is what some of them are thinking. They might be sitting there and going, well, that's great for you, Dr. Nilda, because you've been successful and you have, multiple practices. That's great for you, Dr. Gonzalez, because you've done all these wonderful things, right? And you've created this. But how do I turn my passion into profit, right? And it's learning, how do you take that passion and then turn it into profit, right? Your premise is business and business insights, and you talked about trends. I mean, you talked about so many golden nuggets in such a short period of time. As I was sitting here, I wanted to be like, Nilda, I'll repeat that, right? Because sometimes when I lecture, my students know, when I say something 3 times, it's important. The first time, it's so that you can hear it. The second time is so that you can write it down. The third time is so that now you're understanding it. So I say it 3 times to them so that they understand what I just said is important.
Right.
The second time they hear me say it, they're like, you see them grabbing their pens, and you see even in audiences, writing something down. By the 3rd time I've said it, it's now becoming internalized.
Okay.
And so, how do individuals turn that passion into profit? By looking at the trends, by looking at the thought leaders, by looking at how do they turn that passion into profitability? How do they serve their community? How do they solve a problem within their passion?
Right, absolutely. And to take that a step further is, how do if I'm a teacher, or I'm a psychologist, or I'm a CPA, how do I take that and be able to build on that? What else can I do? And so, and the thing is, that's a mindset. And I know you talk a lot about mindset. That is a mindset, because it's a decision that you make. Like, you may not know what it is. And that's what I always say. I always feel like I haven't gotten there, even though with all the things that I do, and trust me, I do a lot. I teach also, but with all of that, there's always, I always say there's something else. And it's not more work, but it's sharpening the tool. It's sharpening that tool. So it's not more work for the sake of being more work, but for the point of how do I make this work for, so that I can give them more value, so that I can be, I can be more valuable, So it's for them, but it's so interchangeable. Right?
It is interchangeable, and I think you brought up some really great points, because I've met some. I'm one of my strengths happens definitely strategy, but also an ideator. So a lot of times, like you, we'll be in conversation. I'll be like, "Did you ever think of turning that into a business?"
Yeah.
And people are looking at me and they're like, "No." They're like, "I work."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, it's not about work. It's about that. I can see where there's a problem where that could solve something, or where there's a need to be served." And you have to think like that. So it is a mindset. But also being an entrepreneur is also, it's a lifestyle.
Right.
A lot of times they say, I work 80 hours so that I don't have to work 40.
Yeah, exactly.
And unless you're in that lifestyle, you don't understand that.
Right.
And there's a difference between, and you were talking about, and you started to talk about this, about working in your business, and there's a difference between working in your business and working on your business. And when you work in your business, what you've really successfully done is create your own job and create your own hours.
Absolutely.
And when you work on your business, you're building, and you're building assets so that you can then create wealth. And wealth really isn't about money necessarily, but it's about time. We can always make more money, but we can never make more time.
Exactly.
And so it is a mindset that you have to have in order to create that for yourself.
Absolutely. That's an awesome, I love the way you put that, because that's so true. It's, how do you take what you have and create, it's the truth is, and I hear this a lot, I don't have a 9 to 5, and people are very proud of not having a 9 to 5. No, you have like 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. right? So, that's much better. But the thing is, again, we have to go back to the passion, and you're honing in and you're sharpening. So the way I look at my business is like, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be doing this way for the rest of my life. I'm still sharpening so that I can my thing is bringing things concisely. How do I take my message and bring it to you so concise that I will simplify your life? I'm not looking for somebody to work more hours. I'm looking for someone to take what they have and simplify it. Although in the beginning, I always tell them, and I struggle with working with startups, because they don't always understand that it is going to take time, that it's not something that is instantaneous. There's no such thing as instant success. And that's okay. It shouldn't be, because longevity is not instant. It's a process. And I find that I do things so much better today than I did 10 years ago. My sister is like, she laughs, because one of the things I say is, I feel bad for the clients that had me like 5 years ago, because I'm so much better now, and yet their lives have changed, their businesses have thrived, but, you keep sharpening, and again, the professional development, iron sharpens iron, my spending time with you, spending time in conferences, spending that, reading, all of that sharpens what you already have.
Right, and I think that's part of the whole concept with the Mastermind, right? And I think that's an issue that Latinas in general have, and women, right? We're very competitive. And I say often, and I said that when I spoke at Harvard about maybe 2 weeks ago, the age of competition is over. Like, we're done with that. It's the age of cooperation and collaboration, because that's what breeds success. And when you can cooperate and collaborate with individuals, even within your own field and industry, you magnify the leverage, you magnify the power in order to serve others.
Exactly.
And sometimes we lose sight, and you know what I hear, you know, I'm trained, or I've trained myself to hear things that people aren't necessarily saying with words. And so what I heard from you was, you know, individuals who are more talking about scarcity than abundance. And when we focus on scarcity, of not having, que no voy a tener, que va a pasar mañana, things actually, that mindset is very pessimistic and negative.
Right.
When we look at life from an abundance, we actually bring abundance to us. When we're not fighting over, you know, in English we say, you know, fighting for the slice of the pie, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to change it for los latinos, el bizcocho dominicano, right? Like,
exactly.
right?
Sí.
Cuando se den cuenta que hay más para todo el mundo,
hay
bastante, que no se va a abarcar,
no,
you know.
No, la abundancia está ahí, y lo que pasa es que muchas veces, y ahí que llega la competencia con otra persona, porque en la mentalidad que no hay bastante, te va a hacer mirar a la otra persona como la competencia. Y ahí es que está el problema, o como dicen los mexicanos, ahí es que está el chiste.
Right.
I love that. Because that's so core, it's so core. Tú tienes que saber que si uno tiene la mentalidad de abundancia, porque en este país, la verdad es que en este mundo hay abundancia y hay bastante para todo el mundo, y cada uno, y cuando uno sabe que el don de uno es personal, sí, para mí ahí es que llega la parte espiritual, porque a Dios le dio a cada uno le dio su talento y su don. Ahora, si tú trabajas eso y lo haces a nivel súper, you know, excitante, o súper, you know, excellent, súper excelente, entonces yo no tengo problema con que tú hagas lo mismo, porque tú lo vas a hacer a tu mejor habilidad, y cada uno de nosotros tenemos nuestro mundo. Yo tengo las personas que yo voy a abarcar, que yo voy a tener en inglés, sphere of influence, and you have yours. And I believe that where mine ends, yours begins. So it's never a competition, no.
Yo lo veo un poquito diferente. Yo no veo que donde, sí, van a haber personas que simple van a estar atraídas al mensaje tuyo, a la luz tuya. Y van a haber personas que simple van a estar atraídos a la luz mía. Uh-huh. Pero yo lo veo en cual hay personas que necesitan de la luz tuya y de la luz mía. Porque el mensaje que tú das van a escucharlo en cierto momento de su vida, y a lo mejor el mensaje que doy yo lo van a escuchar en otro momento. Así que por eso para mí no hay competencia. Si Starbucks puede tener una cafetería en cada esquina de Nueva York, y las líneas a veces están que salen por la puerta, right? Y cuando yo le dije a mi mamá, voy a empezar una empresa de psicología en Nueva York, mi mamá me dijo, yo salí de Cuba para esto, dice. Salí de la pobreza para que estés pobre en este país. Y le dije, mami, aquí con lo que yo hago hay para 100,000 de lo que hago yo y más. Y la pena es que no hay suficientes psicólogos. Si tú ves la estadística, no sé si yo te la había mandado, soy una de 1% de psicólogos clínicos en los Estados Unidos latinos, que incluye los hombres y las mujeres, que estamos licenciados para poder practicar. Soy una de 1%. I mean, otra vez, ya lo he dicho la segunda vez, ¿verdad? Ajá. Porque necesito que entiendan. Hay más que suficiente espacio.
Exacto.
Y cuando miramos lo que es la salud mental, porque hablaste de la salud de los negocios. Y sí, es muy similar. La salud mental está ahora hay personas que lo diagnostican, antes era 1 en 5, después bajamos de 1 en 4 que tienen un problema, un trastorno, como se le dice, emocional. Y ahora estamos de 1 a 3. Hay más que suficiente espacio.
That's right.
No tenemos por qué estar compitiendo.
Exacto.
No hay necesidad.
Bueno, vamos a parar aquí para un corto comercial Y ya mismo venimos. Si tienen preguntas, llamen al 845-485-1390.
Apúrense. ¿Qué vamos a hacer primero cuando llegamos ahí, mamá? ¿Ir de excursión?
Claro, sí.
¿Qué tal si vamos a las canoas? ¿Podemos también navegar en canoa?
No veo por qué no.
¿Qué tal un paseo en
Going
bicicleta?
just let me know whenever
quiero
you.
pescar.
Oh my
Nunca
God,
he ido a
it's
pescar.
going. You're answering so many of the questions that I had,
¿Cuánto tiempo
but
nos
they're
vamos a
just. It's
quedar?
just no. But the beauty is that it's just natural. I love that because it's a conversation.
Right.
Right? Imagine if I got to my friend and say, okay. No.
Right.
So yeah, it's awesome. I think it's going really well.
Good.
¿De verdad?
Ajá. Sí.
Vamos, ¿qué estamos esperando?
Es un corto trayecto de su colonia hasta su bosque local. Visite descubrelbosque.org para encontrar un parque o zona verde cerca de usted.
Oh, it's catching me if it's my earrings.
Everything, yeah.
O acampar e ir de
It's a little bit like
Todos se encuentran en su bosque local.
on time.
El anuncio
It's a
de
little off.
servicio
It's a little
público
off.
traído a usted por el
That's
Alcance
okay.
y el Servicio Forestal de los Estados Unidos.
How can I get it? They may stay there.
WPDH HD3. Porque sí, todo el Valle de Hudson está escuchando la mejor estación en español.
Yeah, you have to.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so I'm ready whenever you guys are. And I have no more commercials for this hour, so you can finish up. Just leave me 15 seconds to play your outro at the end.
Huh?
I just need 15 seconds at the end to play your outro. Otherwise,
Okay.
there's no more commercials or anything.
Okay.
Uh, 3, 2, 1.
And we're back to Dr. Nilda Radio in Juan 95.7 y la Super Latina. All right, now I want to now dive a little bit more into what is the Mastermind. ¿Qué es la Mastermind? Latina Mastermind. Quiero saber un poco más de eso.
Bueno, hace como año y medio más o menos, tuve la idea que quería tener una conferencia en el webinar. Y dije, bueno, ¿qué lo voy a llamar? Ok, el concepto es, no vamos a competir más, lo voy a llamar Latina Mastermind.
Okay.
Y como a las 2 de la mañana, un miércoles a la mañana, porque sí, a veces ese era el día mío de 7 de la mañana hasta las 4 del próximo día, right?
Yeah, right, exacto.
Entonces, esta idea me surgió, ok, déjame abrir un grupo platicando sobre lo que es la cooperación, sobre lo que es la colaboración.
Colaboración. Uh-huh.
Y déjame tratar de coger a unas cuantas personas que estén interesados en lo que es el concepto para tener el webinar. Iba a tener a Robert, que es el gerente de Latina Style Magazine. Iba a tener a Ana Márquez, que ahora está trabajando para Alpha, la Asociación de Latino Professionals de América. Y puse las 22 hermanas mías que pasamos un programa de liderazgo. Y justo una de ellas estaba despierta a las 2 de la mañana conmigo. Y de buena primero, ¡pam! Tenía 67 personas como en 5 o 10 minutos.
Wonderful. Wow. 67, just like that.
67 de un viaje.
Okay.
Y entonces ella me empezó, ¿qué es esto? Y que no sé qué. Y le dije, oh my gosh, now you're really making me work. Now I have to put this together very quickly. I didn't think anyone was going to be up with me at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Entonces lo que pasó fue que para las 6 de la mañana, 7 de la mañana, porque dormí, tuve un descansito para poder despertarme a la mañana.
Uh-huh.
Cuando voy y chequeo el grupo, tenía ya como 176, 167, algo así.
Uh-huh.
100 y pico de personas. Dije, wow, okay, it
This is-
literally grew overnight.
Right.
De una cosa a otra, it just grew overnight.
In just a few hours, actually. In the middle of the night. So
In
you
the
know you're
middle
not
of the
alone.
night. In the middle of the night,
That's
I
how you know
wasn't
you're not-
alone.
right.
Exactly. In like 4 hours, it had pretty much went from 22 to a little over 100.
Okay.
So, you know, it was growing organically. And then I reached out to a girlfriend of mine that we grew up together, you know, since we were like 5 years old. And I said, hey, Belle, can you do friends about this? Maybe they might be interested in, you know, attending a webinar, but this is the group that I've set up, so, you know, we can talk about these issues. And all of a sudden, it just started to just take hold. And by almost the close of the first week, with a few hours left, I had 982 women in the group.
Okay.
And so I reached out to one other person and I said, I'm so close to 1,000. I said, it would mean the world to me to hit 1,000. I said, I never in a million years intended to have. And so it goes back to listening to what people want.
Right. So
And-
now, what exactly is that app? What?
Well, it started with this group. And
Right.
so after 5 minutes of texting my girlfriend and saying, listen, can you spread the word and see if I can hit 1,000? She texted me back 5 minutes later and said, congratulations, 1,001. And she said, it's on you. And at that point I was like, okay, this is not a webinar. This is really a concept. I have to listen to what all of these women who just pretty much overnight came to my calling for let's collaborate and let's cooperate together. And from that, then I built an app. And the app is, it's one of my babies. I did a very soft launch last year and I haven't really done a bigger launch on it. But if you look at the app, it's the first and only app for Latinas in business, not only just in the US, but globally. It is the first and only app for us Latinas.
Okay.
It allows us to network in live session. So if we're networking, it allows us to network live. It also allows us to put our businesses on there where we can be found globally. And so if you actually go into the app, if you look at it, you can filter it. It has anything on Latina news already filtered for you. So if you're looking anything specifically on Latina news, it is there. Any Latina businesses who want to join can actually join and can be found just by filtering what their tags are. You can actually contact each business. So talk about the yellow pages, right? This is like the yellow pages magnified. You've got an email, a phone, directions if you want to drive there, and you can call the person right from there. So you don't have to worry about writing it down on a piece of paper. Everything is at the tip of your hands.
That's wonderful. Okay, so that sounds absolutely fabulous, and it's definitely something that I think women need, and like you said, all women. But so now, if they want to find you, how do they find you?
Well, I'm easy to be found,
Okay.
and I'm easier as
You're here right now.
every day.
But
I'm already here.
if they're there and you're here, how do they find you?
They could actually go to any of my social media. So you can go to my Facebook. I have my personal Facebook as well as all of my business Facebook. So I have a Doctora Isaura Gonzalez, where all the content there is focused on psychology and health.
Is it Doctora DRA or Doctor?
Doctor. It's Dr.
That's-
Isaura Gonzalez.
myself, right.
The Latina Mastermind public page is also there. It's my business page, and there's a fan page there, and all of that content is actually geared towards Latinas and business and leaders, Latina leaders, or leaders in our community that are making strides and trailblazing.
Okay.
And so we also have the group, where the conversations in the group, I've actually restructured everything, and so the conversations in the group are actually going to be geared towards particular topics that will also be addressed in my podcast.
Okay,
but it will,
awesome.
So everything's kind of like weaving itself together.
Okay. So so they will find you on Facebook. All of the information is on Facebook,
LinkedIn, Twitter.
If you on all the social
on all the social
social
media.
things.
My two websites are.
Is it bilingual?
There are some things that are bilingual. I'm in the process of getting everything. The podcast is bilingual, so I have done production every show in both languages.
Okay, well, we're at the top of the hour, so I want to thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Isaura,
you.
for being here. We definitely need to chat again. We need to bring you back because, there's still so much more that I want to talk about. There's so much more. So this ends this segment of the weekly show. Next week, I want you to tune in because next week we have Lisa Miller and Jackie Oberst. They're the founders of Vi Healthcare, another healthcare firm that they do operations and performance improvement. They have taken a business. They actually created it from zero and are just rocking it out of this world. So I really want you to pay attention and be there. And lastly, I want to remind you about the contest, drnildaperez.com/contest. So please sign up. We only have one more week that we're going to be doing this, and then we're going to pick a winner. All right. So I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Awesome.
I want to thank you for being with us on Business Foresight, always creating strategies towards an extraordinary future. Remember, I'm here with you with strategies every Saturday. I'll see you next week.